Andrew Badger.
My name is Andrew Badger. I'm running for Utah's 1st Congressional District. I'm a 5th-generation Utahn of pioneer ancestry. Utah molded me into the man I am today. It's because of these values I later served our country in Afghanistan. I'm proud to earn the trust of our local community, reflected in the fact that we won the state convention with nearly 60% of the delegate vote. I'm running for U.S. Congress because I believe our country is in a state of crisis and that our current representatives are not acting like it. The question before us today isn't one necessarily of goals, but of means. Do we take the old GOP establishment approach, go along to get along, compromise at any cost? Or do we take the America First approach, where we boldly fight for the vision of our country, where we're willing to work together with others, but not at the expense of sacrificing our values? That is the question before you today. I believe we should take the America First approach. I look forward to introducing myself to you today, and I hope to earn your vote. If you want to learn more about my campaign, you can visit my website, badger2022.com. Thank you.
Under the Biden administration, Americans are grappling with fuel prices that are reaching near record levels almost daily. These high gas prices affect nearly every sector of the U.S. economy. What do you see as the cause of the high gas prices, and what can you do to help lower them?
I mean, the facts speak for themselves. Gasoline prices are soaring. American families are having a hard time paying for fuel at the pump. You know, this is one of the main reasons why we're having inflation. When fuel costs go up, food costs go up. This is a huge challenge. I think there are a couple things. Obviously, the Biden administration needs to open up these pipelines, not only the Keystone Pipeline, Dakota Pipeline. We need to get these leases back in order, start drilling again in the Anver region. And we need to make sure that we can actually become not just energy independent, but energy dominant. Another key thing is ESG scores, environmental social governance scores. This is how the capital banking industry is basically blackmailing the fossil fuel industry. I've spoken to a lot of people in the fossil fuel industry. They're telling me that they can't get the capital from these banks because their ESG score will get lowered, and thereby, their drilling leases are going up. They don't have the capital for these infrastructure, for paying for their personnel. This is one of the main reasons why gas prices have gone up. This Biden administration is lying about this Putin price hike. That's surely one variable, but this is a multi-variable issue, and we need to fight back against ESG scores. We need to instill the responsibility within shareholders to have fiduciary responsibility in order to sue these companies if they abuse the ESG scores. We also need conservatives who aren't going to buy into this climate change narrative. A lot of Utahns, led by John Curtis and joined by Blake Moore, are part of the Conservative Climate Caucus. Blake, one of the first lobbying groups you met with was a climate change lobbyist group in Park City. And we buy into this narrative that this climate change hysteria, which is different from environmental stewardship, and we go along, we pass these 1.5 trillion omnibus bills, which are loaded with climate change, these Green New Deal bills, and we have to be willing to fight back, and we have to stop passing this crazy legislation and enabling the Biden administration to push forward this blackmailing of the American people.
Okay, we'll go to Blake Moore for a rebuttal.
Yeah, the actual strongest argument against Biden's war on oil and gas has been to be able to highlight the good work that we've been doing. And right here in Utah, we invested in Tier 3 gas. We spent billions of dollars to invest in Tier 3 refineries because that strengthens our argument. It makes it a more credible argument to support American energy independence. That our Utah delegations on that caucus actually is the largest Republican caucus in the entire group. And the reason the reason is it's the strongest credible argument to go and support American energy independence.
Any other rebuttals on this particular issue? You've had one, just 1 second there.
I mean, you didn't answer the bill why you voted for a 1.5 trillion omnibus bill, which was loaded with Green New Deal pork.
What bill was that?
The omnibus bill last.
I didn't vote for the omnibus bill.
Yeah, you did.
I voted for the defense. There was two bills. I voted for the defense-related one, not the 1.5.
So you didn't vote for the 1.5 trillion.
I voted for the defense-related one.
Heritage Foundation disagrees. So
Heritage Foundation criticized. There was two separate bills. Every House member in Utah, the delegation voted for the defense-related one, but they still dinged it because they felt like when it went over to the Senate. So this is the legislative process. When it goes over to the Senate, it became one bill, but on the House side, we only voted for the security one. We did not vote for the additional appropriations bill. So it's a very clear definition. We communicated that to the Heritage Foundation. They thought once the bill was ended and through the Senate, if you voted on any of it, I support our military. I represent Hill Air Force Base. I have worked tirelessly and spent countless hours at Hill Air Force Base making sure that I'm there to support them. That's what I voted for.
And you also voted for that defense bill, which included funding the vaccine.
This is getting exciting. I like it. So one more rebuttal from Blake Moore, and then we'll come back to one more from Andrew Badger, and then we're going to move on.
I've been in the thick of the process. On June 22nd, that's my birthday, everybody, I will spend I will be in committee for 18 hours in the Armed Services Committee room, going and fighting for the priorities that are most important to our national security and to Hill Air Force Base. countless hours. That has been done for decades in this district, okay? So when the security bill comes up and the NDAA is on the table, that is something I support. The entire House delegation supported it that way. I did not vote for Democrats' appropriations bills. Thank you.
Andrew Badger.
I mean, you were saying all year you were going to vote for this infrastructure bill. At the last minute, you decided not to because you didn't get some assurances on the Build Back Better bill. That's an interview you've put forward. And I want to talk about the National Defense Authorization Act because we had conservative Republicans in the House Freedom Caucus who were not willing to fund that, vote for that NDAA until they removed the vaccine mandate from it and defunded it, like Mike Lee sought to do with the continuing resolution. We had our representatives who didn't support them in that cause. And so I would argue that you haven't been fighting for the Hill Air Force Base like you should have.
We're going to go now to 1-minute closing statements.
Our country is in a state of crisis, and our current representatives aren't acting like it. The question before us today is not necessarily one of goals. It's of means. Do we take the Mike Lee America First approach and defund this government if necessary to remove illegal things like the vaccine mandate? Or do we throw our hands in the air and say we're the minority government? There's nothing we can do. The question before you, the voter, is, are you satisfied with the direction of our country? Do you believe our current representatives are doing everything they can to fight for your freedoms? I believe that we don't have to settle for the status quo. Utah is a land of pioneers. We're entrepreneurs. We're ranchers. We're cowboys. And we're fighters. And now is the time to stand up and fight back to save our country. Not just for us, but for our children, so that we can hand them the gift of our nation better than the one that we were given. That is what we're fighting for. That is our aim. That is our goal. And that is what I ask for your support in. I believe freedom will win. I believe we can do this. God bless Utah. God bless the United States of America.